Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. Right, so in today's video we are gonna be showcasing the new hot champion of MCOC, especially due to how OP busted she is with Rich Get Richer node in Battlegrounds. But even before that, I have been watching Bittersteel's videos showcasing Valkyrie in Alliance War, which are going to be some of the videos that I'm going to showcase in today's video too. So all of the gameplay from today's video is going to be from Bittersteel's channel. He is a very good, talented Titania player, Valkyrie player, and obviously just a great player in general. And I do like the video format that he uploads of just single individual fights from Battlegrounds, from Alliance Wars, but he also does full Alliance Wars. And perhaps one of the coolest videos that I have seen in a while he made about AI manipulation, which I will leave a link to in the video description and pinned comment as well, because AI manipulation is a very on-point subject also when it comes to playing with Valkyrie, because obviously with Valkyrie you do want to be able to hit an opponent's block on demand and be as effective and fast with it as possible. So without any further talking, let's get into the gameplay. We're going to start off with current Mega Masochism Overtime meta, and this is going to be Valkyrie against Kitty Pryde. The video is here partially also to show the fact that she is still a very viable and good Alliance Battlegrounds champion, even without Rich Get Richer node, and she is still in my deck in current meta as well, as a great counter for Thing and a whole bunch of other things. You do have to be careful using Valkyrie, because one accidental parry will kind of ruin the fight for you. But the difference in this meta compared to Rich Get Richer meta is that initially you do want to be striking opponent directly and not just hitting their block from the get-go, because that helps you ramp up quicker. If you need to ramp up hitting only the block, you do gain significantly less power, and that takes longer time. That's why Rich Get Richer is so OP with her. But as you can see here, he's doing absolutely fantastic against Kitty Pryde. She doesn't have any prowesses, and she just absolutely nuked her in 53 seconds. And let's take a look at Weapon X. Now, this is the Rich Get Richer meta, and majority of the videos now are going to be with Rich Get Richer meta or from Alliance War, but let's get to it. So this is also obviously a very interesting matchup against Weapon X. So you'd think that Weapon X needs a very specialized counter, and well, he does, because if you do not have something that could deal with his regeneration, then you're kind of screwed. But obviously Valkyrie in Rich Get Richer meta, and in general, you can still do this in any other meta, it's just not going to be as quick of a fight. But Valkyrie does have that awesome ability of, being able to close out fights quickly enough, never hitting actually opponent directly, which is a very cool thing, which I do think is awesome. I have said it in the past, at the moment I still personally prefer Massacre as a Battlegrounds champion, but obviously Valkyrie does have that brand new car smell, and also she does have top 6 rank 4 prestige, which is a big part of the reason why she went to rank 4 on my account instead of Massacre, for instance. But I'm sure that they will rank up Massacre soon enough too. But the awesome thing is obviously of how many good matchups you have when you can do that. Completely bypassed any and all regeneration in this matchup with absolutely no problems. Slightly slower on time there, but it's hard to beat Bishop against Kingpin. And here we have Valkyrie against Hulkling. And Hulkling is another one of those champions who typically requires very specific counter, because if you don't have it, the indestructibles, his regen, his long-lasting special ones and power gain when you strike him and all that other stuff, it just drags the fight out, and most champions just end up timing out against Hulkling or get caught and KO'd if you do not have a very suitable counter. And especially on the Rich Get Richer nodes, Hulkling is a menace on defense and offense more so than he is usually, because when you strike him, he starts gaining all of these buffs, and bad things happen. But with Valkyrie, you don't strike him. And you're going to notice a theme of that in this video, because there are so many nodes that activate when you hit the opponent There are so many nodes that activate, you know, on direct hits and things like that. And a lot of that stuff can be just bypassed by hitting in the block. Easy peasy. Like a good example here is going to be against Arinta. Absolutely tanky Arinta. Massive health pool. And I actually did a Arinta fight with Valkyrie in the Masochism meta as well, and it worked out just perfectly up until in my casual habit, I ended up parrying Arinta when he was at 10% and then he regen back to 70. But she can definitely take down Arinta in the current Gladiator Circuit meta as well. It's the main point of the video. Or main point that I'm trying to make here. So here we can see, obviously, as soon as she gets that Fury, as soon as really she gets the third Pierce buff and has access to that instant bleed damage, the fight just starts to go so much faster. And it is quite important to note that those red numbers that she gains hitting through block are instant bleeds. And I got reminded of it personally the hard way when I was trying to use Valkyrie against Gore. The fight went perfectly until I started putting bleeds on him and he started gaining infinite amounts of regen. But here we go. Valkyrie, 55 seconds, Arinta, no problem. In current meta, you would take more than 55 seconds, but you can definitely do that fight very well too. Let's go with Thing. Why not? Thing is obviously always one of those champions that you do struggle finding counters for, or you do need to seek for counters. And yet again, we're going to see Valkyrie absolutely demolishing Thing. Now, one of the cooler things about Valkyrie is, again, even in the current Mega Masochism meta, she will work against Thing, because just like he does here, you can ramp up just by striking him, and that's perfect. And here we go. So here he actually starts manipulating his combo meter with regular combos. Here he pushes Thing to 20 charges, drops that level 2 in block, and we can see that Thing already has lost about 30% in the first few minutes. And it is only going to go down quicker and quicker and quicker. Also, another upside is that once you reach your 3 Pierce, your instant bleeds do actually end up removing Thing's rock stacks. So that just, you know, makes that fight even easier. And this was 47 seconds. 47 seconds. And this is going to be Eternity of Pain fight using Valkyrie. So we did this fight most recently. This was week 4 boss, and obviously also then in the general week 5, kind of like the combined clear, we had to deal with this guy. And you are going to see Valkyrie perform absolutely phenomenal. So here she goes, just slaps it in the block like nobody's business. And we can see that Scorpion absolutely melting. So he just drops his level 1s here in order not to get the bursts. And he has a lot of pierce effects. Now, obviously, he does have to bait out special attack, which is fair enough. And this is damage that she's doing previously before, well, without knocking Scorpion down. So let's see how he's going to finish here out. Oof, that's a massive level 2 there as well. Very solid. Lots of extra burst damage. And he's just spamming them specials, spamming them block hits. Scorpion's down to 40%, so he has taken obviously some bursts of damage here, but as long as Valkyrie can survive it, all is good. Also, Valkyrie does have a chance to purify non-damaging debuffs on her based on her block proficiency. But let's just take a look at this one. Absolutely awesome. And Scorpion's health bar is just melting away here at the end. And that is Eternity of Pain Scorpion nuked by Valkyrie in like a minute and a half. 1 minute 25 seconds. And we have also an Alliance War boss solo. So this is a Gallon boss, and out of all the options, again, out of all the options, you'd think that, you know, Valkyrie might not be the best choice here. But let's see how it actually works out. Let's just take a look. So obviously the plan here is just strike the block. He's using power start 1 in order to get to his level 2 quicker with max ramp up and do more damage, because there is effectively a timer to this fight before you end up taking a burst of damage from Gallon, because Valkyrie doesn't have mechanics that directly counter Gallon's harvest and accumulating mass and things like that. And if we are judging for this first half a minute, obviously it doesn't look too great there for Valkyrie. Take 5% on block, but he has 50 monster mass, so not monster, planetary mass. But now we can see that Gallon's health bar is actually starting to go down. And again, this is a very chunky Gallon. It's an Alliance War boss. And he is getting deleted slowly but surely with that, block play. He now has inverted his combo meter in order to increase the level of, protection that he has blocking hits. And he did eat up harvest damage. But, it was the bare minimum amount of damage that Gallon would trigger. And the most important thing is that obviously Valkyrie here is easily winning the health bar race. And the reason why Valkyrie works against Gallon here is because she does a lot of damage without giving opponent a lot of power. And that's kind of like the main thing, obviously, because hitting opponent's block gives them significantly less amount of power than they would normally receive. And that is a mechanic that can easily be exploited in a ton of different matchups. For instance, well, EMP modification is probably not the best example, but there are definitely plenty of these. And now he's nearly at 2 bars of power again, and he has the 4 pierce buffs. And look at that damage there. Those are like 20k plus all the bleed bursts. And yeah, that Gallon boss is just going to get deleted here in a second. Again, in under 2 minutes. Very, very, very impressive job. Now we have Hazard shift fight, again, going back to what I mentioned earlier in the video, where a lot of nodes and abilities really work. And here we can see that at this point the Valkyrie is unawakened and only rank 3. But a lot of nodes, a lot of abilities work when you strike the opponent. Hazard shift is one of them. So Hazard shift is a very limiting node that immediately requests basically 2 different immunities from you, or some abilities that, enable you to cope with, in this case, poison and incinerate. And using Valkyrie, there's just no node. Yes, using Valkyrie, your ramp up is going to be slower in a case like this, because you cannot, gain power very quickly. But even without getting that level 2 Fury, which is very potent, as soon as you get those 3 pierces active, you're going to see the damage increase quite significantly. And here you can see that, first 40 seconds, how passed, and the Fury is still at 86% health. But that changes very quickly, and this is kind of like one of the only weak points that I find about Valkyrie at the moment, is that in the fights where you only and exclusively have to hit opponent's block, she does take a while to ramp up and kind of get the damage going. And this is the new defensive tactic that I actually have never had a chance to play against. It's the unsteady ground one. And let's see how he does here. So again, the only thing he needs to watch out for is obviously be careful to only hit Nick Fury's block. That allows him to completely bypass Hazard shift. And Nick Fury is, getting chucked down. Again, it is a fight with 2 health bars, so it is going to last a while. But on the bright side, when Nick Fury is going to get his 2nd health bar, is going to be number 1, degenning himself down to 30%. And second of all, he already has his ramp up ready to go. And here we can see again with that 4th pierce buff, the damage is obviously even better. 4th pierce passive in this case. And here Nick is about to be KO'd. And this would be like a 2-minute fight against a regular opponent. But obviously, since it isn't a regular opponent, Nick Fury is going to take somewhat longer. But it basically makes no difference. You just need to hit that block slightly longer. But it's just quite impressive that she is a very out-of-the-box counter for a fight like this. And I do always like those champions that can do fights that, people wouldn't necessarily immediately think about these champions of being capable to do. And here we can see that Nick Fury is down to his 30% in the 2nd life. So that means that after this level 2, Nick Fury is basically going to get deleted more than likely. So here he goes, nearly at 2 bars of power. I thought he's going to reach it, but fair enough. And he goes for that level 2, and that is one dead Nick Fury. And also we have Nick Fury Eternity of Pain fight, which again is still from a time when his Valkyrie was unawakened. Since then, obviously, he has had enough confidence to give Valkyrie that gem, or, you know, manage to awaken her. But he also took her to SIG 200 and rank 4. So quite clearly, man's been loving his Valkyrie. And now he starts hitting Nick's block. But he does have those bleed debuffs, so you do need to be careful here, obviously. Because as long as you do have those bleed debuffs, he's not going to lose any power. But that's kind of okay in a sense, because that power lock burnout node is going to help him later on anyhow. So here we go. Now he can start smacking Nick Fury perfectly with a level 2 in block. And obviously Nick Fury does have like a massive health ball. But it's okay. We're going to fast forward here a bit, but the point of this fight, I think, has been made quite clear. And yeah, Valkyrie is a legitimate clearing option for this Nick Fury fight. So at this point, we're going to leave it here, where the first life is about to get destroyed. Just needs to bait out the special attack. Now he's going to be passively power locked, and that power lock, it's going to be interesting to see whether that power lock that power lock remains. Even when Nick Fury enters his second life. And again, now he needs to start building his burnout charges, because, you know, those bleeds are being placed, and that is one aspect of this fight that is making it kind of slightly harder and longer. But now he can go at it again, drop that massive level 2 in the block. You can see that tons of damage goes from that, with basically like a full perfect ramp up there. Now that level 1 in block does hurt, but again, willpower healing is probably going to let him recover. And he's just trying to build up as quickly as he can to 2 bars of power. And he does that, and this level 2 is going to finish the fight. Rank 3 Valkyrie solos rank 4 Ranger boss with these. So this is another Alliance War boss fight. And obviously we have seen a Rintra fight in Battlegrounds, but let's see how it is going to go in Alliance War. And again, this is a fight where there is no Rich Get Richer boosting up her damage. And he's cocky. This is off-season war, but he's definitely being cocky there, entering the fight in Alliance War against Arinta with half a health bar. But, you know, fair enough. If you feel confident in an off-season war, why not? So we do have a rank 4 6-star Rintra in Alliance War on defense. And let's see how well Valkyrie is going to handle this Alliance War boss fight. It is quite an unusual choice for a boss, I think. I haven't seen many Rintra bosses, but hey, if it's there, why not? Why not? And right, so now he has his 3 pierce buffs active, so you can see again that regardless of what type of damage he deals on his basic hits, which is, you know, solid with 3-4 pierce buffs, you do plenty of damage in that block, but all that instant bleed damage is definitely adding up as well, which is very noticeable. And for being a very, very, very chunky Alliance War boss, let's see how long this fight is going to last, and I want to see how effective this level 2 is going to be. So here he goes, inverts his combo, fair enough. And those are some, again, very serious, good numbers. And slowly but surely that Rintra is getting absolutely deleted. So he has inverted his combo, and, like, you know, the basic thing about Valkyrie is that you finish a combo with a medium attack, and that basically either does nothing or returns you to a regular combo counting, or when you finish a combo with a light attack, then it inverts your combo meter And the rest of the Valkyrie's mechanics are basically kind of like a reverse void, where every time you pass a combo count of 10, you gain either pierce buff when you go upwards or bulwark buff when you go backwards. So here, he did actually ended up hitting Rintra, which is not end of the world. It's just, you know, something that you do not want to be doing majority of the time, because you do want to kind of like rely on your blocked hits. And now let's see, he has his 4th pierce buff. I was hoping that he's gonna get to his level 2 in that one. Right. Okay. Chill, Rintra, chill. Let yourself get wrecked. It is taking a bit of time, but again, it is a rank 3 Valkyrie against a rank 4 Rintra, and it doesn't look like he's particularly heavily boosted in this fight either. So I do suspect on equal ranks with some boost, this fight would be significantly faster. But even right now, I can see that now he dropped this level 2 is just brutal damage, whilst that Fury was active. Unfortunately, Rintra didn't want to quite play in that damage phase there, kind of like whilst that passive Fury lasted. But still, he's only at 10%, so he's definitely going down very quickly. And throughout the entire fight, Bitter still has lost only 5% health. He started at 49%, he's at 44%. So, you know, hats off to that as well. Not a lot of damage taken at all in this fight. They're still there at 5%, and this should finish it off. Is he gonna go for level 1? Yeah, he does. Here we go. Extra pierce, and barely survived it. But here we go. Here's your alcoholic Valkyrie, and 2 successful hits, but highest combo 91. Anyways, so I hope you did guys enjoy this Valkyrie showcase. She's definitely kind of gaining steam quite quickly. And if you did, hit that like button. Definitely check out the AI manipulation video from Bittersteel. Again, all the links in video description. And I'll catch you guys soon. See ya. Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about the next